I watched him, and I like his pad level, and I like the way you. The main thing that I do like about this kid is the way he uses his hands. It's like a lot of times I would when I go through tape on some guys who's supposed to be big and strapping and strong, it's not that much hand usage, and the way that they allow the offensive line to use their hands to pretty much grab you. You have to be violent with your hands as a defensive lineman.
Tuesday edition of the Mac and Mac guys on Birds 365. You got McDonald, you got McMullen, and we got a big guy to join us. Former Eagle defensive tackle Hollis Thomas jumps aboard here with us on Birds 365. Now, I got to admit, John, do you know what it says under Hollis right there?
Damn Skippy, it says. Come on, Jody.
Skippy.
Damn Skippy. Yes, sir. How you feeling, Jody?
I'm doing good, buddy. Good to see you, big guy. Appreciate you coming on board with us for a couple of minutes today. What was the biggest number? Now, I'm asking honestly here. You got to both give me with a lie detector test and a scale in hand. Okay. What was the biggest number you ever played at?
The biggest number, probably like 360, 365, something like that.
So you got Hollis, you got Jordan Davis by about, I don't know, 20 pounds right now, but he's got about 6 inches on you. So when you look at a guy.
We got about three. I'm 6'3", so.
6'3"?
Yeah.
Are you 6'3"? Is that what we're saying? All right.
Well, no, that's not what we're saying. I probably could, if I stood next to you, you'd notice because whoever your doctor was probably gave you 2 or 3 inches. But when I do tell people that I'm 6 feet, they're like, "No, you're taller," and I am taller than 6 feet. So it's just weird when I stand next to you, like, hey, you're taller than 6 feet. I was like, "No, your doctor's lying to you."
Well, now we always talk about nose tackles and zero technique, one technique, whatever you want to call them. That low center of gravity is helpful. When you see a kid like Jordan who's so big, tall, as well as his size, do you think that could be a problem at the NFL level when you have offensive linemen who kind of understand leverage and things like that?
It can only be a problem for the center because the low man does win, but when you combine strength with his ability to stay as low as he can get, it causes a problem for the offensive line. Now, I don't know if you remember the Twin Towers that they used to have in Jacksonville with Marcus Stroud and John Henderson.
Yeah.
That's what type of problem it creates, because you may get low sometimes, but you're not going to get low every play, and you'll probably get destroyed more times than not, especially early in the game, and it can be demoralizing when you're trying to block somebody and it's futile. It's kind of like watching a superhero walk in the building, walk through a door.
That can do some damage.
Yes, it can. I watched him. I watched him, and I like his pad level, and I like the way the main thing that I do like about this kid is the way he uses his hands. It's like a lot of times I when I go through tape on some guys who's supposed to be big and strapping and strong, it's not that much hand usage, and the way that they allow the offensive line to use their hands to pretty much grab you, you have to be violent with your hands as a defensive lineman.
Now, isn't it funny that Kenny Pickett can't play in the National Football League because he doesn't have big enough hands? Is Hollis Thomas telling us they should be measuring the hands of the defensive tackles as well? The bigger, the better.
Well, not so much measuring. It's about the violence in which which goes into those hands. It's like when you come off the ball and you grab the offensive lineman in the proper area within the framework, and you start throwing them around, and you see those meat beaters like snatch people up and throwing them away. A lot of times you see guys going after sacks, and you see all of them standing up high and with their hands flailing to the side. It's not taking control of the blocker and dismantling the establishment. one thing, the technique behind playing offensive defensive line is almost the same. You want to get your hands on your opponent and you want to defeat the blocker as a defensive lineman, but as an offensive lineman, they want to control you. They want to a lot of them want to get their hands inside, but if you don't let them get their hands inside, they can't control you. Now they can get them outside, which is called what? Holding, which is rarely called, but you don't want to bitch and moan about that to the official. Then you seem like a chump, and you've wasted a lot of time. We wasted a lot of time during the game because you're worried about, oh, this guy's holding me. That's why you'll hear each and every good defensive line coach will tell you to be violent with your hands and getting off the blocks. Now he runs over guys. That the most demoralizing thing I've seen him do, him and one of his teammates, Walker, because I love the kid Walker, like what they did with the run. If you go back and look at some of the tape, there was some plays where the offensive linemen, they stood up like this, but not for long. And all you saw was their arms pushing them back. And then when they get off the blocks, you throw to your block. We call it ragdolling. That's like throwing away a dog, throwing them away and getting them out your way so you can make plays. If you don't get off blocks, you're just offensive lineman. You're driving the guy back.
Hollis, you mentioned Trayvon Walker. A lot of Eagles fans like to watch Nakobe Dean highlights, and if they notice, right in front of Nakobe, more often than not, is Jordan Davis taking up sometimes 2-3 blockers. Tell the fans how important it is for that big nose tackle, and you played 14 years in this league.
Well, see, I see it sometimes.
Blockers.
Sometimes I don't like you guys' verbiage when you say tie up blockers, because I'm not there. I'm not there to tie up anything. I'm there to cause complete and utter havoc. And in doing that, I'm destroying blockers. You don't let the offensive lineman, you don't let them get up on your linebacker. It's like protecting, but if you destroy your blockers, more times than not, you'll make a lot of plays. And then when a good linebacker will appreciate it every time. A linebacker will know who his guys are. A lot of linebackers will know who's going for glory and who's not. The guy who's going for glory, occasionally he will end up in the linebacker's lap because the offensive lineman loves when you go for a pass rush move and they're running the ball. So, but it'll. I think the familiarity between those two it's gonna resonate. You'll probably see it right off the rip. Because I like the Kobe Dean too. Now they spread the rumor that he was injured. I'm kind of glad that they did. I'm not so much in a selfish manner. I wanted him, and I wanted also. It was another kid too, Devin Lloyd.
Devin Lloyd, yeah.
Both those two guys, I had them high on my wish list. But I'm kind of glad we got yeah. Because when you look at it, we needed a quarterback of the defense, and him being as smart as the bill says that he is, and watching him too, because especially looking at his test numbers, but then looking at him on tape, it's kind of like man, he's not that good at testing, but he's a difference maker on the field. So you figure that he has football speed. And
I think the Eagles got really lucky to get Nakobe Dean in the third round. I think he's going to be a staple for the Eagles for the next decade. All right.
Yeah, and the other part, Jody, is he's pissed because everybody passed him over. He's got that chip on his shoulder, and he's pissed. He's going to show everybody what you're missing.
Correct. All right, Hollis, I can't believe I've never asked you this question. And I'm trying to remember, you and I have done enough shows over the years that I thought that I would have asked you, but I don't recall ever asking it. The comparison between Hollis Thomas and Jody McDonald. Hollis was an actual NFL player for a decade plus. I was a Division III college basketball player.
Cool.
After I left college, I did some high school refereeing shortly after I graduated from college. Nice little side money, let me get my running in up and down the court, and had some fun, made a couple of bucks.
Right.
But after I did that, I would watch games, NBA games, college basketball games, and I'd watch the referee because I got into refereeing and I wanted to see the placement of the referee. And I realized you're not watching the game, you idiot. Pay attention to the game. Have some fun, you dope.
Yeah.
Now you're an ex-defensive tackle.
Right.
When you watch the NFL these days, do you always focus on the defensive tackle? Do you watch the football? How do
I
you watch games?
Well, you know what? Even when I played, and when I played, I learned through some coaches to watch the entire game. But in watching the entire game, you focus on the line because that's where the action starts. The ball, offensive line, the defensive line. You watch the play up front, and then you let the ball carry you to where the play is going. Now, and watching that also, I like watching the wide angle because I can see the whole field. And if something's out of whack, because you know how a play is supposed to go, you can tell when something's out of whack and when somebody's getting their rump kicked. So when somebody's getting their rump kicked, I rewind them and like, I want to see who got their rump kick, who that was making that odd move. When I say odd move, some hand